I just got to sit down for a moment and explore another thought, another idea. Please understand that I'm not telling you truths here or absolute truths or facts. I am just responding to the curiosity of my mind and my psyche as I'm trying to explore this concept and the different channels that the mind, the psychological mind, will form for itself. And I'm feeling into my own soul for this to articulate this, how it feels to me, right? So this is just an exploration of soul. You can do your own. Just making this video to demonstrate how I do it. So, I was just thinking about the whole concept of manifestation, right? It seems if you're one of the fortunate souls, fortunate from a human point of view, if you're one of the fortunate souls that have a quote-unquote perfect body without any handicap, without any missing limbs or crippling condition, the concept of manifesting will appeal to you and it'll, make a lot of sense. But I was just thinking about, what's his name? Nick Vujicic. He's the man that's missing his legs and arms. Like he's just existing as a stump, basically. And I thought, boy, and I do believe he is a Christian, which has served him very well in his handicap to try and maintain a balanced sense of mind. But I was just thinking, if I was still in my Christian mindset, in my divided consciousness, in seeing God and creation separately, I think I would have the propensity and potential to feel quite bitter about the fact that God created me so misshapen and misformed that I have to live this life as a handicapped person. Severely handicapped if you don't have legs and arms. That is quite the challenge. The part that I want to zoom in on is the aspect of living from the awareness of being the creation of another being, aka God, versus our own soul making the detailed life choices that we come in with when we incarnate. And personally, I find it easier psychologically, mentally, easier to live with the belief and construct that our souls choose the experience that it wants to have in this earth life. It'll be a lot harder to manifest the quote-unquote perfect life when you come in with so many obstacles, right? And I just chalk it all up to experience. The soul wants to have different experiences, and I'm thankful that I didn't come in with a handicapped body, to be honest. That's got to be the most challenging thing. And my hat's off to Nick for doing as well as he is doing with his condition, with his incarnation. But yeah, back to my point. My soul would not feel very happy about the fact that God, quote unquote God, made the decision for my soul and then stuffed me into this meat suit, crippled, and then says, "My grace is sufficient for you." That just doesn't sit right with everything in me. That feels so helpless. It feels so disempowering mentally. Um, yeah, I've had other challenges that I had to work through, and which just brought me to the realization that we all must be God. God cannot be an autonomous, separate being from creation and then make all the decisions for us, and then we get to be the victims of his decisions, of his choices. That did not make sense to me. But I can grapple with this concept that our divine soul, which is God emanation, which is a fractal of God, which is the God consciousness, the only God consciousness that exists. Our soul is a piece of that, and you can't even divide it up. Consciousness cannot be divided up, it can only be multiplied. So, out of body, we have the full range of source consciousness, creative power. And we drew up the plans for this earth life collectively and together to live this out as our creation. It's like when I say God, don't let your brain go off to a creator that made these decisions by himself. This is why it's not a him. Consciousness is neutral. It's it. It's gender neutral. And as souls, we're all operating in that energy. And we're co-creating the physical matter constantly. Because you have that higher version of yourself in the higher dimension, in the out-of-body dimensions, in the consciousness dimension. As a human, you just contain a small fractal of that. And because everything is slowed down here in time, we don't make the correlation that our thoughts and intentions are already creating tomorrow and what's going to appear 10 years from now. We're co-creating that today together in the collective consciousness. We really are in this together. And yeah, so back to my thought. I do not believe that a separate entity from us created all this and then placed us in this like little Lego dolls, where we have this experience. No, I believe we are that God consciousness that created everything, and now we're just here experiencing the physical aspect of our creation. And yeah, just some exploratory thoughts deep into my psyche, feeling into what my left and right brain in the brain huddle figure, how this best works together or best makes sense. And that's the conclusion that I presently have come to. Of course, I'm flexible. That might change tomorrow. Whenever a new wave of consciousness comes in, that'll change, that'll expand even wider. But the beauty is to allow your mind to play with imagination, to play with these thoughts, and to feel them out, to work with that, right? That's the true freedom. You want to get out of the concrete box of your left brain thinking uh, that everything has to be precise and to the point, and there is no flexibility. Allow yourself some flexibility. Be imaginative. Be creative.